be back. Yo, where are you going? I'm gonna try to tweak the 450 before sun go down. Yo, you supposed to be helping me come up with content for the vlog. Why are you tripping? I got stuff on order. It ain't here yet. I don't know how much content I can create before it gets here. And you out here playing with the 450 all the time. You've been to like 2 FPV events. What about it? Did you do an FPV Mavic video? Don't you got Litchi? You remember Litchi does FPV, right? Yo, I'm out. Mother. So how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. So I have literally been waiting for my FPV gear to show up and my racing drone to show up. I've been to 2 FPV events, and guys have been asking me, have you ever flown FPV before? I'm like, nah, I never did it. And then today, it just literally clicked that I could have flown FPV with the Mavic and a $10 VR goggle set. So I'm going to show you how to walk through. You need about 3 things. You need a data cable, $10 VR goggle set from Amazon, and your phone with Litchi app installed. So let's go over it and let's see how it works. Okay, so let's go through it step by step. This is what you need to do. First off, you need to download Litchi. It's Litchi. It's an alternative to DJI Go 4. I usually use DJI Go 4 because I like to use the built-in flight modes, but Litchi has some pretty cool stuff. If you haven't seen it, I did a review, my very first review, on a comparison between the Phantom 3 Standard and the Phantom 3 Advanced, and I talked about how Litchi had some pretty cool features in it, like auto record. I don't know why DJI doesn't have auto record, because I don't know how many times I've been up and forgot to hit the record button. It's got programming missions where you can go on your computer, you can look something up on Google Maps, you can program your flight mission, your altitudes and everything, and then set it in. So then when you get out to the field, all you got to do is hit go, and it'll go off and fly that mission for you. And another thing that it had that I talked about way back then, about probably even a year ago, is it had FPV goggle capabilities. So we all know that DJI is now coming out with a pair of VR goggles that cost, I believe, $449, $450. And I was on the fence on buying them because I'm like, man, that's a lot to invest in a pair of goggles. When you look at other goggles out there, like Unique's goggles only cost about $150. So I'm like, could I get the Unique goggles to work with the DJI? Unfortunately, you can't do it on the Mavic because the Mavic does not have an HDMI output. For the Phantom 4 series, I believe, or the Phantom 3 series, or the Advanced series, you're able to go out and buy a little module that you can kind of plug into the back and then plug in to get HDMI out and run it to a monitor or run it to a pair of Fat Shark goggles. But you can't do that with the Mavic. But you do have the capability of using a cable like this one with a tablet when you plug it into the very back port here on the bottom. So that's how we're going to get Litchi set up. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step to show you how it's done. It's pretty simple to do. First thing you got to remember to do is this will not work if this plug for your phone is plugged into the side. So you got to unplug that one and just leave it hanging for now. So what you want to do is you want to plug in your USB port. Plug your USB. You need a data cable. Be sure you use a data cable because some of these cables are just set up for charging. So make sure you got a data cable and plug it into the back. Take your other port and you plug it into your phone. So now what you got to do is you got to take your VR goggle set. I got this set from Amazon maybe a year ago. It's sort of like a Google box or whatever that thing is called. The Google box where you can set up VR with the little box thing with the magnet. It's not high tech. There's no plugs or anything on it. It's just a basic pair of goggles. If you can see like that. And what you do is you slide out the back and you got to put your phone in. So now you got your phone in, and this slides in to your goggles like so. So technically I can't fly this because if I did and I recorded it, I was recording myself breaking the law. FAA regulations say that you must maintain line of sight with your drone, and using a pair of FPV goggles isn't exactly line of sight. Actually, While if it were in front of me and I could see it, I could use a screen or a phone, but with this, I'm totally losing line of sight. And it's probably not a good idea to do it anyway, because you totally lose all your peripheral vision. You can't tell if somebody's coming up behind you. You can't tell if there's like a kid or somebody walking around in front of you. Something that could probably get you potential danger. You can only see what's in front of you. So don't break the law, guys. And bring more regulations to drones. I'm gonna fire up the controller. So there you go, Litchi is up and running. In this corner right here, what you have is, if you can see it right there in the corner, you've got a little icon that is the icon for FPV goggles. And when you hit that, oh, I hit the wrong icon. It's kind of hard to hit, I hit the settings. So when you hit that, now it switches over to FPV goggle mode. The FPV goggle mode actually controls your gimbal. So you look up, actually I got it upside down now. So you look down, you look up. It's upside down because I didn't have the goggles set up correctly when I did it. But if you can see, the gimbal is moving up and down. But you can also go in and change your settings. There is, I don't know if you can see it, you can turn on the on-screen display. You can turn off the offset depth for the different screens. Gimbal head tracking. So I got head tracking on, and I think it only manages to track the up and down. You got your gimbal speed, you got your aircraft tracking. So let me see what that does. Immersive, joystick, or none. So I'm gonna put it on immersive. There's a bunch of settings in the actual settings mode that you can switch all the buttons around and get the gimbals and the switches to do different things. So that might help you when you're using this in FPV mode. The only thing that worries me about using it in FPV mode is if it were doing something like a return to home or emergency landing, and I wanted to kill that emergency landing, I would have to yank this out of the FPV goggle set, get out of this by going into VR exit, get back into this, and then probably try to kill the landing on it. So there's some things you got to worry about when you do this. So keep that in mind before you go out and just pop this on and go fly it. If there was an emergency and you had to get out of FPV really quickly, it's probably going to take you a minute or two to get out, get your phone out of this, and then change all the settings so you can get the craft back down, land it safely. We'll leave this right now out of the goggles and give it a test to see what happens when I go into immersive. So let's get it launched. Got my GPS, everything is set up, everything's good. Recording started. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the goggles. Seeing if I can see this. I'm looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down. Okay. So let's go into settings and see what happens if it says I gotta be launched. Let's go into immersive. Immersive mode is activated. So now when you're in immersive, it is actually controlling the yaw of the aircraft, which is pretty freaking cool. So you look left, it looks left. You look right, it looks right. I'm gonna land it right now. Actually, I'm gonna take it out of immersive before it does something crazy. Go back to none. Immersive mode is deactivated. No yaw control right now with this. Still got yaw control, control of the pitch right now. We're gonna land it and get it back down on the ground. So I gotta get myself a spotter and I gotta get up and do some FPV video now. I'm anxious to do it. I will definitely keep you tuned in on how it goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the vlog. Again, guys, if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and share. I am at 700 plus. I am trying to get to 1,000. 1,000 would be an achievement. So if you can get me 1,000, I appreciate it. Giveaways are still coming, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll get back to you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.